Hey everybody, this is the 2018 LEGO Friends Mia's Camper Van set. My first impressions of this set kind of split into two major themes. First of all, wow, what a colorful set. Not necessarily in a good way, but you know, at least it's not completely based in pink and magenta and lavender this time around, so they're trying different stuff. That's good. And secondly, wow, this is a really, really large camper van. It's so much larger than the ones that they make for like Lego City and regular minifigures. I mean, look at that. You know, this was already a pretty decent sized build itself, but this new Friends one kind of puts it to shame. It's really built to a different scale. This is an 8-stud wide build with a very generous interior. I'm going to have to open it up quite a bit to let you see everything on the inside. We've got a major door over here. It's almost a bus style door to let you get in. That's plenty tall to pose a mini doll right in there. It has 3 axles in total, making it something that's very heavy duty. This is an awning, obviously. This is a vinyl piece here. It's got a plastic material. You can just pop that off if you want to, pull off the little supports on the sides, but it doesn't just fold in particularly nicely. It kind of gets crinkled up like that. You can fold it in this way if you want to, but I don't really recommend it. I recommend just pulling the whole things off if you don't want them to be on there for kind of your traveling mode. They do use stickers, but I feel like there are the right number of stickers used for this set to give it some extra detail. This is a nice little hinge joint, and maybe it doesn't look that great from the back, but to me it kind of looks like the exit of either a cooling system for the engine that presumably would be in the back, or maybe it's related to AC, but it's actually just a little latch to hold it together. And you can open this up from the side to get a little bit of access, but to get more access you want to take the roof off. Before I do that though, you've got some space to store some things up here. So this is a dinghy, rigid hull inflatable dinghy that can obviously fit 2 mini dolls in that. They've got a couple of life preserver vests up there to use with those figures, and a couple of paddles as well, or oars. And then you've got this whole sleeper section up here, which is built with a combination of kind of standard studs on top of studs construction and a little bit of studs on the side construction. Most importantly, it has good space inside of it. This pops up, and inside you've got 2 beds, one on that side, one on this side, with a little bit of arm room on the sides with the kind of panel style windows that give you a little extra room. They've got a small lamp there, and they even have a TV to watch while you're resting. So that just has a sticker on it, and looks like they're watching some educational TV about the wilderness, or maybe it's just an animation. And there are a few stickers used up here for stars to represent, or to kind of seed the imagination, to let you know that if you're up there sleeping at night, you can look through this clear, basically skylight, and see the stars above you. So, you know, it kind of puts that thought into kids' minds, and I think that's a good little start to some really nice thoughts. You know, a lot of kids who have been brought up around city areas have never even really seen the night sky because we have so much light pollution. There are so many stars. It's ridiculous when you get to see it. So this is a nice way to get out to an area that's not so populated, you experience a little bit of nature, but still have all the creature comforts of home. So you've got the driving compartment up in front, which is able to seat a couple of figures up there. There's no steering wheel, but there's a gear shift lever, or maybe a handbrake. I wish there was a steering wheel, but check out just how comfortable the table is here with the padded seat cushions below, and they have some fruit included with this. This is supposed to represent a mini fridge, so they've got some OJ in there. Obviously that opens up, and then they've got a stove right here you can use for preparing food. They've got a sink there, and you got some drinks that can be made. So this is actually a pretty nice place to be. You know, you're definitely not, oops, just lost one piece of fruit. Don't worry, I'll just save the other one. You don't have to worry about roughing it, that's for sure. That's just a sticker up on the wall to give you a little extra detail, and there's another one back here for the full bathroom. This is just representing, some of the toiletries in there, but I guess this is supposed to represent the toilet right here. The seat is down, but there's nothing to be seen beneath that. You get another sink, so 2 sinks in total, and a place to do your little beautying up. It's very easy to go between kind of the fully open and fully closed forms of this. I mean, all of these major segments just fit together so easily. So it's no sweat to make that transformation whenever you want. The main LEGO Friends characters, the core characters that have been with us since the beginning, have been updated, all of them, for 2018. The faces have slightly different expressions and slightly different proportions. I don't see that much difference here. There's definitely a difference from before, but I thought they looked just fine before, and I think they look just fine now. I think some people will probably dislike the changes, but I think that at least for these characters, it's subtle enough, and I think these will be perfectly successful, just like the previous ones were. I know that the changes were tested with actual kids who actually play with these sets and enjoy them, so I think it'll work out just fine. The torso prints, I think, look pretty good, pretty well detailed. The shoes are basically the same design, just with different color schemes, and they have their radio walkie-talkies here for staying in touch, staying in communication, and that's good, but these just have the stickers applied to them to give them a little bit of detail there. Nice hairpiece for Mia there on the left, obviously Stephanie on the right, and that's about all there is to see for these 2 good figures as usual. Here's one of the side builds, and this to me definitely looks oversized. It makes Stephanie and Mia there look like small children. Yeah, it's everything is just sized up, I think, more than it needs to be, especially in height. I guess the scale didn't quite work out well with this the way that it did with the camper, but at least there's plenty of space on the table itself. Got a couple of sandwiches here and one more mug. You saw one in the camper, and it's really easy to put the figures on top of those seats. Here's another side build which gives you an apple tree, and you can actually pick that apple there, add to your fruit salad. Got some of the newer style of flower elements used here, and they've got a bunch of equestrian related stuff. So you've got your reins and harness there, you've got a saddle here, and enough stuff for one person to ride one horse. That's hay, and then there's a water trough there. Well, there is a horse included, like so, with the nice Friends style eyes, and this is the standard Friends style horse as well. And they let you do the little transformation to be able to actually ride the horse. And there we go. So had to set up Mia and not Stephanie because of the hair. It has the dark red color and the ponytail. So yeah, only one option there, and it is too bad that these figures have to always stand, but that's just a consequence of their design. Doesn't look so bad from most angles. Maybe just directly from the side it's a little bit awkward, but I think it works out okay. And then there's this, a full tent with another vinyl piece used there. This is pretty well closed up, but it's easy to get into it. Well, at least it's easy to open up one flap from a side like that, so you can see inside a little bit, but it's not really enough to get figures inside of there. I think for that you want to pull off one of these corners to get a little better access, and if you're going to do that, you might as well pull off the other so you can bring all of this back. So you've got a couple of stickers there used for the simulated sleeping bags, and you got a water bottle here and also a spot to hold on to your sunglasses when you're no longer using them, and these are just flower pieces around the edges. I wish this opened up a little bit more easily than it does. I don't like the fact that you kind of need to pull this off of these ball joint pieces, because the vinyl tends to stretch and over time it'll get loose, and it's easy if you're not careful with it to get it to actually break, to actually stretch too far, maybe to tear. So that doesn't work out quite so well. Previously they used these kind of cloth style pieces for the fold up tent section, and that didn't work out all that great either, but they're still trying different things. It's not bad, but Just wish it was easier to actually get in there and place the figures in there. I guess from this side maybe it's a little bit easier, but still, just wish that it would open up a little bit more, and these don't have any spots to hold on to their feet. Maybe that would be the one thing that would make this really work. If they just had a little spot to hold on to their feet, so when you push them in, it would just stay. Actually testing this before this video, I just kept having them fall out like they're doing now. And that's the most little frustrating bit of that. So maybe if they just had that connection, then I wouldn't have to worry about the opening being a little bit larger to set them in more properly. The last thing is just this signpost, and this looks absolutely perfect. I want to get a whole series of just these stickers, or stickers in that style, to go with all sorts of different destinations around large park spaces and wilderness spaces. They look just so realistic. It's one of the best looking signs I've seen from Lego in many years. And they even have the printed tile piece, the 1x1 tile piece on the top to make it look even more realistic. So I really like this, as small and simple as it is. In all, I feel like this set is imperfect, but mostly good. Definitely mostly good. The designs, the builds are solid. They're just well thought out. Like I say, they give you so much space to do so many different activities just with what's included in this one single set. Would have been nice to include a second horse if you're going to have equestrian activities, because having to share one, I guess, is okay. You get some teachable moments out of that, but it's always nice to be able to do the same thing with two friends at the same time. This probably needs a little bit of work, in my opinion. The color scheme is a little bit garbled. I think not as much as it appears to my own eyes, and some people will disagree and really like the color scheme, and that's all good for sure. I just think it needs one less color, and then it would look really good. But overall, nicely done stuff here. The figures are still good, even though they've changed them a little bit. Yeah, I think this just shows a good present and future for the LEGO Friends line. That's enough of my yapping about this set. Hope you've enjoyed this look at it, and I hope that I did show you everything you wanted to see here and all the features, hopefully. But I have many more videos to make, so I'm going to continue working, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.